Good afternoon. I'm Alex Berchet in Washington, and we begin with breaking news. A federal judge has ordered President Trump fully fund SNAP benefits for November by tomorrow. Judge John McCall criticized the Trump administration for making partial payments, saying, quote, people have gone without for too long. Not making payments to them for even another day is simply unacceptable. So for more on this, I want to bring in ABC News Washington, D.C. Bureau Managing Editor Catherine Falders, who has been covering this. And Catherine, it's really notable just how much of a rebuke Judge McConnell made here.
Yeah, it really is. It was quite striking. Of course, he probably went, Alex, as far as I've seen any federal judge go, at least in the past few months, over a direct rebuke to the president himself, saying that he believed that Trump expressed this intent to defy a court order. Now, remember, of course, this all comes because McConnell, the judge, had ordered the Trump administration to make these payments. They said they could partially fund these payments. Basically, what happened here is the judge said he was not satisfied with the partial payments that the administration said they could make, and then the obstacles that the administration said that were getting in the way of paying it, meaning they couldn't do it for 2 or 3 weeks or maybe even months. Now, what was so striking to me about this is the judge said the Trump administration ignored his order, of course, to restart the SNAP payments quickly, but the judge attributed that to the president attempting to disrupt the payments for called political reasons here. So very unhappy with the way this was handled. Now, I will say we haven't heard from anybody in the Trump administration yet on this. I could imagine that the Department of Justice may be preparing papers to appeal this ruling. We'll have to go out tomorrow, and that people's cards will be reloaded. I can't imagine that it would happen that quickly. We're at close of business today, but we'll just have to see what happens here next.
Well, and one of the things that we've heard from, in a lot of these food pantries where that service SNAP beneficiaries is, even if the faucet's cut back on, there's likely going to be some confusion and some time there. But Catherine, listen, this judge was one of the ones that blocked that another Trump 2.0 executive action earlier this year. He had recently spoken out publicly about 6 credible death threats directed at him in the wake of that. Listen, this is pretty rare, seeing a judge speak publicly like this. What more do we know? And is it a surprise that he made this ruling?
Look, I think that on the one hand, right, he has spoken publicly about those death threats, and in the past, obviously, you talk about that other ruling. He's ruled against the Trump administration before. I would think that the judge is separating that and those comments from how he was thinking in ruling as it relates to what was before him in the court the past week or so. Now, of course, I'm sure that's on the front of his mind. I think that the Trump administration, whenever they make a comment about the judge or who knows, Trump hasn't said anything about the judge yet, but you know how he feels about judges who rule against him. And I'm sure he's aware potentially of the comments that this judge has made. So that could come up in that way. But I'm not totally surprised by the ruling, not so much because of the comments that the judge has made in the past about these death threats, but because of what the president has said publicly on his social media account earlier this week about basically saying that SNAP payments wouldn't go out until the Democrats reopen the government, something that the White House press secretary tried to walk back, but Trump himself has not really clarified.